All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a story from the front lines of AI development that kind of flips the script on what we think of as smart. It's this fascinating case where the simpler, you might even say dumber, approach turned out to be the genius move. So this was the exact question a team over at Vercel basically stumbled into. See, they thought they had this really elegant, super sophisticated solution for teaching their AI. But as you'll see, the results were not what they were expecting at all. Let's get into it. Okay, first, let's set the stage. AI coding agents have this one huge problem. Their training data gets stale, and it gets stale fast. So when a framework like Next.js drops a bunch of new APIs, the agents, well, they have no idea they exist, and they just keep writing old, outdated code. Now, the solution seemed so obvious: agent skills. The best way to think about a skill is like a specialist consultant the AI can just call up whenever it gets stuck. It's clean, it's efficient, and it basically turns a generalist agent into an expert on the fly. Sounds great, right? The whole design philosophy here is this really clever idea called progressive disclosure. The AI only loads the information it needs, right when it needs it. This is a big deal because it keeps its brain, what we call the context window, from getting all cluttered up. This was supposed to be the smart, elegant way to do things. So the Vercel team was staring this problem right in the face. They had to get their coding agent up to speed on the new APIs in Next.js 16. And, naturally, they put all their chips on using skills to solve it. And this sets up a classic showdown. In one corner, you've got the sophisticated consultant, the agent skill, which the AI has to realize it needs and then decide to use. And in the other corner, a simple, almost laughably dumb markdown file called agents.md. This is literally like taping a cheat sheet to the wall. It's always there, no decision necessary. So they built their shiny new Next.js doc skill. They created this really rigorous test suite targeting all those new APIs, and they hit run. The results were, well, they were pretty shocking, actually. Get this. In a staggering 56% of their tests, the agent never even bothered to use the skill. The tool was right there, available for the taking, and more than half the time, the AI just completely ignored it. And this chart, it says it all, doesn't it? The impact was literally zero. Adding this supposedly smart skill gave them 0 percentage point improvement over having no docs at all. In fact, if you dig into the details, it sometimes did a tiny bit worse, probably because the unused skill was just adding noise. So they tried a new tactic. They started giving the agent really explicit instructions, like, hey, you must use this skill. And that helped, but the whole system turned out to be incredibly fragile. They found that tiny changes in how they worded things, like telling it to explore the project first, led to wildly different and much better results. It just showed that the whole setup was way too brittle for any real-world use. Yeah, this fragility was a huge red flag. So the Vercel team kind of took a step back and they asked a really simple question, a question that changed everything. What if the information was just there, like all the time? No decision point, no need to invoke anything, no fragility. This is the cheat sheet approach, just using that simple agents.md file. And the results were just mind-blowing. The agents.md file, that simple little cheat sheet, scored a 100% pass rate. It didn't just do better than the skill, it absolutely dominated. We're talking perfect scores across every single test. That's a 47 percentage point jump over the baseline. Just incredible. So why? Why did the dumb static file completely crush the smart on-demand tool? Well, the analysis from Vercel and from others who looked at this points to a few key things. Vercel's theory is that it all came down to removing the cognitive load from the agent. By just making the information always there, they got rid of all the points where things could go wrong. The decision to look something up, the order of operations, all of it just gone. And it wasn't just Vercel noticing this. Analysis from others in the community, like this quote from Merlin AI, adds another really critical piece to the puzzle. The models just aren't very good at using skills yet. The feature exists, sure, but they haven't really been trained to use it reliably. We're essentially giving them a fancy new tool they don't know how to hold. But wait, you might be thinking, doesn't just stuffing info into the prompt clog up the context window? And that's a great question. Vercel solved it with some pretty aggressive compression. They took a 40 kilobyte doc index, squeezed it down to just 8 kilobytes, and It worked perfectly. Still got that 100% pass rate. Okay, so let's bring all this home. What does this experiment actually mean for you if you're a developer or a product manager trying to build stuff with AI right now? The team at Vercel laid out some really clear advice. Look, skills aren't totally useless. They're probably better for really specific, user-activated tasks like migrate my whole project. But for giving an agent general knowledge, passive context, that simple agents.md file is the undisputed champ, at least for now. And that leaves us with this final, really provocative thought. This whole experiment, it shines a spotlight on this tension we have in AI development today. Are we spending our time designing these beautiful, elegant abstractions for some super smart AI of the future, or should we be building pragmatic, sometimes dumber, solutions that work for the models we actually have right now? It seems, for today at least, what works best isn't always what looks smartest on paper.